Dog, this scientist dude already looking like a creep. It was a part in here where they was talking to Star the Conqueror and they saw all of the people that he had inhabited, all these people that they had in cages. One of them was like, and he was taking advantage of me. Then the nigga was just like, he like, look, bro, I got metal dreads. You think I wasn't gonna fuck the starfish? I mean, look at me, bro. You know how I give it up.
Right.
What woman want me?
Damn. Freaking always.
Right, yeah.
Pick one.
Right.
Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome back to Cinecism. I'm Eric.
It's your boy Dante, man, and today we're going to be doing a review on The Suicide Squad.
As confusing as it may sound, this is actually a sequel to the first Suicide Squad movie. Those of you who are familiar with the Suicide Squad, you know that they're a group of villains who are typically sent on heroic mission to save the world in some form or capacity. In this movie, the Suicide Squad, led by Rick Flag again, has to go on a mission to Cordo Maltese. It's called Project Starfish. They're trying to stop this organization from unleashing this weapon on the world, basically. This shit wacky as hell. And I'm not mad at it.
Right, exactly. They leaned into it this go around. You do got a core team consisting of Bloodsport, Peacemaker, Polka Dot Man, and the Ratcatcher 2. Yeah. She's the sequel. Her dad was the original Ratcatcher.
And Harley Quinn.
Right, and Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn makes an appearance throughout the movie. It's funny because she's not part of the core team. The team she came with, we'll talk about them. She ends up linking up with the main team probably halfway to near the end of the movie.
King Shark is in there.
Oh yeah, and King Shark is in. How could we forget him? What a lunatic. How could you be on a team with something like that? They gonna have a freak. A freak is mandatory on the Suicide Squad.
They got some freaks in here.
Right. I feel like they did a better job this time around of organically introducing and giving background on the characters, because you know it's a lot of people to keep track of. I felt like it was done a lot better in this movie than opposed to the last one, but we'll talk more about that.
Boy, that's an understatement.
Right.
As we said before, of course, Rick Flag is back. I feel like he's a lot more likable in this movie, just as a character overall. He got some pretty funny moments too. I don't know if it was the script or like the dialogue. It was just written better for him this time around, because he just felt way more cringy in the first movie than he did here.
I actually associated that with just better writing. His character just seemed a lot more human in this movie. It just seemed like in the script it just said dick in the original Suicide Squad, but in this movie he actually got some humanity to him. He's a character. He's, like you mentioned, he got funny lines. All around the character seemed more well written this go round. He got a call of audible because the team he came with, met an unfortunate end. Let's say that.
That's a very nice way of putting it.
Yeah, very reminiscent of the Deadpool 2 scene. Remember when all those people was parachuting down?
You want to talk about Harley Quinn? Let's talk about Harley. She came with the other team too, right?
Yeah.
And her team got like destroyed. Was she on the team with Rick Flag at first, and like the rest of their team members? Yeah, dismantled.
Right. Dismantled is a great word.
Margot Robbie in this role is it's incredible. Like I couldn't even envision anybody else playing Harley Quinn as well as she does. Yeah. The way she delivers her lines, the little accent, the quirkiness. She kills it, man. Every time I see her, she's always like the highlight of the movie. Literally bringing the character to life. She has so much charisma playing it, and you could tell just from how she does it that clearly she enjoys playing this character. Despite the crazy, psychotic behavior of Harley, they always make a way to humanize her in these movies, man, where it's like you kind of empathize with her. When she killed that dude, as funny as that shit was, the speech she gave was kind of like, damn, and the way she delivered it, when she was talking about how throughout her life, I guess people keep hurting her and she want to take them out before they can hurt other people and stuff. But that whole shit was funny, bro. It was. I knew she was about to kill him. I had a feeling she is so fucking crazy. Bro, bodies get caught in this movie. The body count is high. They kind of let her take a back seat in this. She's in this, but she kind of play more of a supporting role. I would say the other characters get just as much screen time. It's not the Harley show like it usually is. They let Bloodsport shine a lot in this movie, and I really enjoy Idris Elba's performance as him. Bloodsport's another team member who his situation is a man Amanda Waller threatens to lock his daughter up for like a crime she committed unless he takes part in this mission with the Suicide Squad. He presents himself as if he doesn't really care about much, but you know, after you see the conversation he has with his daughter, you know that's probably the one thing in the world that he cares about the most.
His character, as funny as he was, he had a lot of real human moments. That scene he had with his daughter when they was in prison with Storm Reed, who is another phenomenal actress. Man. Yeah, I love her too. I think she got a real bright future.
That kid's going places.
Yeah, right.
He was dope, man. Very reminiscent of Deadshot. However, I liked his character more. Even just his design was dope.
His costume, the way that they designed it in this movie, as simple as it looked, that shit was hard, bro. And I liked how his actual suit had weaponry on it already attached. That shit was kind of dope. When they found out he had a rat phobia, because he has a fear of rats, and they're obviously the rat catcher. She summons rats on the team. So that shit was something. It was like, did anybody know that Bloodsport had a rat phobia?
Right.
He was like, I'm an assassin. Why would I tell you my liability? He was looking shook. You think his character would seem out of place just how he was, but he really fit this team of weirdos, man. Even though he wasn't the quintessential freak,
right?
He still fit in somehow, man. And it was great to see him interact with the teammates, man. He was a really great character. Peacemaker.
Man, let's talk about Peacemaker.
Let's do it.
John Cena was a maniac in this movie, and I loved every minute of it. That motherfucker is big. Yes, God damn, his arms is crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. When I saw it, I said, oh my God, is he got
I always knew he was big. I don't know if the shirt was smaller or what, but he looked extra swole in this movie.
He said if the shirt was smaller, it was an optical illusion.
Peacemaker is this maniac that's supposed to be like this super patriot. He's got a interesting moral compass. I'll say that. He kills people in the name of justice and liberty. It's like he pick and chooses what is morally correct.
Correct.
He has basically the same skill set as Bloodsport. Like they were both previously in the military. He's clearly more mentally unstable than Bloodsport is.
Amanda Waller introduced this character. She introduced Peacemaker to Bloodsport. I was tripping because she said the exact same thing for Peacemaker that she did for Bloodsport in terms of their background. He was like, I thought maybe I was tripping. He was like, hold up, I thought you said everybody on this team had a different background. This dude got the same powers as me. John Cena committing to a role is great. He's great in this movie, man. And he was great opposite Idris Elba because they kind of, because they got similar powers. They competing in the movie. They kind of butt heads. Yeah. And it just was so funny, man, because they both had that stoic comedic element to them, and it worked really well. Speaking of costumes, I did not like Peacemakers, bro.
I don't think we were supposed to.
Right, fair enough. I think that's fair.
And I looked up his design from the comments, and it's accurate. I think it fits his character because he was so outrageous. I think it was supposed to not fit in with everybody else.
Correct. For a ridiculous character, his costume needed to look like that.
Yeah. That tidy whitey scene.
Dog, oh my God. He was like, why are you in your underwear? I was thinking the same thing. And then you too big
to be in tidy whitey. Bro, get you some briefs or something. Polka Dot Man.
What a tragic life he got.
Yeah.
Bro.
Probably the most mentally unstable of the group. You can see it in his face.
Yeah.
John Cena, crazy, but Polka Dot Man a different kind of crazy. So his skill set is he can release these polka dots from his skin. He can use at his disposal to destroy things or something.
What those polka dots was doing to people?
Yeah, it was like
he might be one of the most OP on the team. It was disintegrating shit.
Right. What a condition, huh?
Listen, man. And when he hasn't expelled them for a while, he started getting swole in the face. Oh, girl first saw his skin reacting. She was like, what's going on with your skin? He was like, I got a rash. She was like, you got a rash? That's a rash? He actually was one of the more cooler people on the team. For some reason, he wasn't as crazy as Peacemaker.
I was sad when he died, man.
Yeah, that was, in the end, the tragic end that he met was so comedic.
So Ratcatcher, I liked her too, man.
Me too.
So she possesses this little device that she could use to control rats.
Her powers are gross.
She's probably one of the members that's not the most tactically skilled, just a regular person.
Yeah.
Aside from, her ability to control the rats.
Right. Man. She was probably the most human on the team. In terms of just her character, she was definitely the most human on the team.
Yeah, she wasn't the most like caring. A murderous psychopath like a lot of the other men.
Not at all. No, that story that she was apparently when her and her dad was homeless, the rats, they used the rats as a blanket. The rats would bring them trinkets and shit. I'm like, well, why don't you get the rats to bring you a blanket? Right? Why make them be your blanket? That shit was gross, man.
Rats get a bad rap, man. You know, people.
Well, they actually are disease ridden.
I mean, I know, but it ain't their fault. Right. Lastly, we got King Shark. He kind of like the equivalent of Groot to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Absolutely.
Not a whole lot of dialogue. I mean, he does have dialogue, but it ain't worth it.
It's very.
But they found a way to even humanize him, man. I've seen King Shark, of course, in the animated movies. I've seen him in like the Flash series. I know they've been going more in this direction in the animated ones.
I was about to say, because like they're Harley Quinn cartoon.
This is very reminiscent of how he is in that.
Yeah, right.
He's like the powerhouse of the group, and he's just like a big ass child.
He's very innocent.
Yeah.
Even though he's the most lethal.
It's funny how he got this innocence to him, but like in the next scene, he's like devouring people and ripping them apart. Right. It's crazy to watch.
King Shark, is he a man or was he a shark?
Well, I think there's more than one version of King Shark too. I'm not super familiar with his character, but I believe he was a man.
That's what I thought.
People always be turning themselves into some shit. I think he was a man. Before. I don't know what happened to change that. What an unfortunate way to live.
Can't do nothing now.
Because he like a shark. Like his body ain't even that man.
No, it's not. He more. That's why I was wondering.
We gotta talk about Amanda Waller. Viola Davis killed this shit, man. Her voice even just sounds like Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
Just how she talks. She nailed that shit, man. Yeah. She really understood that character. Because Amanda Waller don't be giving a fuck about nobody. And she represented that so well in this movie to me.
Kind of like what we were talking about with Harley Quinn, just bringing that character to life. She embodies that character. Because if you know anything about Amanda Waller, zero fucks are given about anything, man. Her staff in this movie was looking at her like, are you kidding me? The part where she was threatening to send Bloodsport's daughter to prison, dude was like, yeah, you wouldn't really do that with his daughter, right? She was like, you don't know what I would do. She's so hateable, bro.
She is.
And she's hated. That's the character.
She is.
She's meant to be hated with a fiery passion, and Viola Davis got that.
I gotta say, in comparison to the first Suicide Squad movie, visually this movie was far superior. Way more vibrant and colorful. You could see what was going on all the time. Just the way it was shot, the way the action scenes were delivered, I just thought was done very well. It just looked good, man. The fight scenes were pretty dope. Like the fight choreography was pretty awesome in this movie. One of my favorite action sequences was like Harley Quinn's scene when she was like killing all them people. I don't know whose idea it was to put the flowers and the blood or whatever, but that shit, it just looked dope.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, visually, this movie is far superior. This movie is far superior in every way, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just a much better movie, a much more enjoyable time. The action scene stood out to me too as well. Not only just the aesthetics of how the movie looked, just the colors were more vibrant and everything in this. In the original Suicide Squad, everything had that era of DC look. Man of Steel, Dark Knight, everything kind of dark and gloomy.
Yeah.
This movie was bright, it was colorful, and that scene in particular, like you talking about, stood out to me too. And it reminded me a lot of the scene that you had in Birds of Prey when she went in the police office. But they always do a great job with her action scenes, and then when they incorporated first just the whole thing with the guns, then when they switched it up, it's like hand to hand, then at the same time you threw the javelin in there. It's just a very interesting fight scene, and then the whole thing is in motion. She's moving throughout this facility throughout, so it's just very visually appealing to watch. And not only that, the choreography looked great, and then the effects looked great. Another one of my favorite moments was probably the scene where they infiltrated that rebel camp. That shit was funny as hell, man. It was cool to watch them kind of go through this facility once again in motion, keeping things interesting that way, and the way they were competing with each other. People was getting killed in some fucked up ways, man. Dog. Dude had his dick
body count on it.
And got murdered.
Oh my God,
for no reason. Yeah, that shit was fucked up.
Oh my God. And then come to find out they killed the wrong people.
She was like, yeah, why didn't my rebel team alert us? It was like, we didn't see a team out there. Speaking of which, this movie, the comedy in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. So much better. So much better this go around. I really feel like they leaned into it because this is what this movie should be. It's ridiculous. It's over the top. Right. These characters are insane. they should be leaning into some comedic elements. I felt like the first movie took itself way too seriously, man. You got a shark man on the team, for God's sakes. There's so many funny parts in here between Peacemaker, between Bloodsport. Everybody had a comedic moment in here, man. And I just thought it was so well written.
I've watched like the Suicide Squad like animated movies. I've seen them appear in multiple different forms of media, and this felt way more close to what I was expecting from a Suicide Squad. This felt like a Suicide Squad mission. Man, the beginning part of this movie, like the intro scene to this movie, they jumped straight into the action. I was not prepared. Like I knew people were gonna die in this movie. Like they made it appear as if like certain team members were gonna be like the main part of the movie, and they just, so many people died at the beginning of the movie. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. But I'm not even at all mad at that. However, there was one of the members that got killed that I was like, damn, Captain Boomerang. I was not expecting Captain Boomerang to get killed. He's like always one of the core members of the Suicide Squad in most incarnations I've seen him. So I was really surprised that they killed him also.
Me too, man. Me too. When I saw that one guy die, I was like, I think this is going to be one of those where everybody catches it. And boy, oh boy, the way they was dying too. Captain Boomerang, out of all of them, probably caught one of the worst deaths.
Oh boy, with the arm.
I was just about to say the detached man.
That man was just rolling around.
His powers was so garbage. I thought he had like some type of power blow or something. He literally detached his arms and was just slapping them people, barely hitting them. And then he was moving like this.
He just started shooting shit. Like, what else would they do?
Exactly.
You know what we didn't talk about much yet was the main villain, man.
Oh my God.
Starro the Conqueror. I remember a classic Justice League cover, I think, where they're fighting him, I think from probably like the 60s or something. It was cool to see him, man. It looked ridiculous, but that was expected. Just the interesting way that they went about taking him down. It was kind of gross, I'm not gonna lie. Like when they went into the
my God,
that shit made me, my skin crawl a little bit.
Disgusting. Then rats start coming in.
God, the rats was really
that was the part for me too. Man. Then they was on him. That wasn't as bad because it was a swarm. It's not like you could really see them.
Yeah.
But when they went in his eye, you saw individual rats. I said,
I think it was meant to like creep you out.
Yeah, it was very disgusting.
I mean, it was a creative way of killing the main villain. Yeah. So I applaud him on that. But boy, was it unsettling.
Yeah, you won't forget it. It's one of the more memorable villain death scenes that I've seen in a while. Like you said, creative would be the best way because these are people. They ain't got no mech suits or nothing like that. So you thinking, how are these normal sized folk gonna take down this fucking creature? Dude had me tripping. He was like, we got kaijus in this bitch.
Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. Actually, more than what I was expecting to. I went in like, I know it's not going to be as bad as the first one. I knew that. Well, I felt that. I didn't know that. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did, and I appreciate it. I appreciated all the performances, the action scenes, just the way the movie was shot. It was just beautiful. It was just fun, man. It was funny, and it was entertaining to watch. I'm going to give Suicide Squad a 8.5 out of 10, man. I really enjoyed this one.
This was the expectation that I kind of had for the original Suicide Squad, was that it was going to be a fun movie with some wacky characters. They really committed. They really leaned into it. The action was better. The dialogue was better. The overall direction they took was better. I really had a lot of fun watching this movie, man. So much so than I thought that I would. It really turned out to be one of my more favorite movie experiences this year. I'm going to give it an 8.5 as well. It's definitely worth checking out.
Thanks for tuning into our review of The Suicide Squad. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I definitely recommend this one, especially if you were as disappointed with the first movie as I was. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any suggested reviews for content, don't forget to drop a comment below, please.
Absolutely. And if you guys have seen The Suicide Squad, please let us know what you thought, how you feel like it stacks up in terms of the first movie. I'm sure you'll like this one a lot better. We appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Peace.